right? All right.
All right, let's start with Rebecca. Rebecca says, I'm chewing on your recommendation to reach out to all of my monthly members and invite them to switch to an annual plan. All of my staff members are maxed out on hours. Is it worth hiring someone temporarily to do this, or should I just try to upsell with automated emails?
The first thing is automated emails, definitely. But we just hired someone to do this because we believe that this is like not only does that person come in really, it's not like you're hiring a salesperson that only does sales, but they can do other things too. They can sell bigger products. They can sell your live event for you. There's all kinds of things you'll figure out they can do as you go. And we've had a really good experience so far. We've had a salesperson now for 8 weeks, and they have converted quite a few people to annual. They have followed up and sold Nashville live tickets, and all that. So I think it is worth it to have someone dedicated to this specific thing on your staff if you can. Now, does that mean you have to hire a full-time person? Not really. I mean, we did, but you could probably hire someone like on commission. There's probably sales forces out there, or you could just invite your people to trainings, and you could do it like a webinar and upsell it at the end of it. So if you feel stretched right now and you don't want to hire anyone else, then don't. If you don't want to give it to anybody else on your team right now, then don't. Just like you said, work it into your normal flow. Make sure that they are being asked to go into an annual plan. Make sure that anytime you do any kind of live Q&A or training, you say, hey, I've got a special on my annual plan right now. And also, too, you'll find it's not really that overwhelming. You could go into your automation and you could set it up where it emails you every day, anyone who like hits a certain LTV in your membership. So in Infusionsoft, I think we have an email that goes as soon as somebody hits like 1 month before they reach what is the average lifetime value, then our sales guy gets an email. You could just have that come to you. It would probably only be one or two a day, and you could call them, or Dan could call them, right? So this isn't that hard to kind of work in. But if you really wanted to go the extra mile, you could go and hire somebody, but you don't have to. So use your email, use your automation, do what you can, which is better than not doing anything at all. So you can get to where you can do what you really want to do. Okay.
All right, and Dan says he turned off all my notifications on my phone.
Somebody is listening to the podcast, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
So I missed the start of the live call. We will forgive you, Dan, because turning off notifications on your phone is where it's at.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's like the magic sauce, man, is when you're not getting any messages from anybody on your phone. No, well, Jocelyn and I don't even have voicemail on our phone. Like, we don't leave each other
The only
messages,
way you
anything
can
like
get
that.
through to me is if you text me, and the only people who have my phone number are people that I know really well.
Yeah, so
Otherwise, you're not getting in touch with me.
you're not getting it. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Next
not in real
question.
time anyway. All right. Kathy says, I'm winding down my 5-day challenge. I'm on day 3. And as I move into March, I'm a little stuck on what I should do next. If my challenge does well, should I do it again, maybe in the second week of March, or should I start at my webinars again? I'm hesitant because in looking at the teacher calendar, March is the start of spring break season.
Yep.
So people are on spring break at different times.
That's true. So, but here's the deal. If let's say that everybody gets a week off in March, right, for spring break or April. Well, if you did something every week, then you wouldn't miss anybody. So, this is probably an all of the above thing. You could do a webinar right now in the first week, and then you could do a challenge again the second week to catch people that missed it the first time. I'm guessing every single person who's ever been to your website and on your email list did not do the challenge. So, why not rotate them week on, week off? And also too, if I remember correctly, Jocelyn, we had sales and stuff during this season because people get really like vegged out during like the week before spring break. They want some automation. They want to put their classroom on autopilot so they can get to spring break. Another thing that I do in my history classes, we always did a lot of teachers show movies like the couple days before a break, like Christmas break, spring break, summer vacation. So we would do like movie guides to build engagement, and like they could go download it to help people opt in or something like that. Like maybe they were going to show a movie, so we would give them like like a worksheet to go along with it. So I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do to promote, but don't assume people are just going to be gone for spring break because that's
Yeah,
not
our
true.
spring break here in Kentucky is usually in April. So,
Yeah.
the people have it at all different times, I would say through March and April. Jeanette says, Shane challenged me to grow, and I did 10 webinars last March and grew by 40 members, or no, 2 years ago.
Yep.
That was 2 years ago, and I have been able to repeat it. So maybe that would be something that you would do. Probably what I would do, Kathy, is just reach out to your audience and say, hey, I'm thinking about either doing this challenge or I'm thinking about doing this training. I always call webinars training for education.
Let them vote and then do both. Like you can let them vote, and all the people that wanted the training do the training, and all the people that wanted the challenge do the challenge. And they vote for what they want. They self-select that way.
All right. Let's go on to Chris. Chris says, I'm very excited to announce that we will be opening the doors to our Life with Multiples community.
Nice.
The
Been
first
waiting on this one.
members the first members will be a select group of beta users. Do you have any advice on how to make the most out of the beta phase?
The biggest thing that we see people succeed with in the beta phase is to get on the phone one on one with as many of your beta members as possible. Um, Beta members, you should not treat your beta members like you're going to treat your whole membership, because in the beta phase, you only have a few people that you're working with. So you can do things that don't scale. You can get on the phone with them. You can call them. You can, let them text you. You can let them join you in multiple chats a week. You can let them, friend you on Facebook and send you messages. And you can do all of these things that you just can't do later because you'll have hundreds of members.
How many people are our beta members here? I believe there are
Well, there's
several
beta members in
here.
here right now on the call. Yeah, we still have people in our beta membership from our beta memberships in the community. So get on the phone with them, talk to them, be one on one, be really accessible, and just ask tons of questions and listen, 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 so you can figure out exactly what they need. Like for example, basically this live event for us, even though we've hosted live events around the country before, they've always been small. This 100+ person live event that we're hosting in Nashville is kind of like a beta group, like we are having this huge Facebook group. We're asking people what they want. We're letting them shape our content so that the next one will be more in line exactly with what people want, not with what we think they want. So that's what you're trying to figure out, is exactly what your people need and how that is totally not exactly what you think they need, because what you think they need is probably not what they need. So talk to them, communicate with them, be accessible, be open, and go treat them like $20,000 a year clients. Like they're paying you 20 grand a year to help them solve their problem. What would you do for someone if they were paying you $20,000 a year? That's how you treat your beta members, and you'll learn so much. It'll make you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the future, because you'll miss so many mistakes that you could have made. So, is there anything that you would do different, or I mean,
Um, no, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. Just really communicate with those people, and you can let them know that it may not be this way forever, but
mm,
that while you're
that's a good
still
point.
small, you want to be sure to communicate with them and, give them a little bit extra for being willing to jump in with you
Take a
when it was not
chance, yeah.
proven. Yeah. Okay. Kathy says, how is your camera set up for this call? Is it listed somewhere in the membership?
Okay, no, it's not listed, but I can tell you how it is. So here's how this camera works.
This is a very fancy camera
This is
from
really
Walmart.
really super high tech now. So I mean, I may be talking over your head a little bit. I went to Walmart and I got a Logitech camera with a big long cord, and then I
Mm.
ordered a big long extension cord off Amazon, and it's sitting on a tripod on the corner of my room, and I plugged it in and ran it over to the laptop. That's about it. All right, so it was we this is not a fancy setup. You can go buy expensive cameras and stuff, but Jocelyn and I usually don't go that route. We usually just want to get the job done. So I got this I think it is a 1080p or something. It's like
That's whatever Walmart
it's
had
whatever Walmart had at the time. I literally went to our Walmart in our little small town. I bought a
because we
camera
don't have any other
because
stores
we don't
here.
have any other stores. So I bought this. Basically, it's just a Logitech webcam on top of a tripod, and I did need an extension cord, so I had to get one with like you could
With a
like with a
USB.
USB like in and out on each side of it to make it longer, so we could reach it wherever we wanted. But hey, man,
And
we keep it
so
simple.
then in Google, so you do like a Google Hangout, right?
I do a Google Hangout, and well, I don't think they're called Hangouts anymore. They're called YouTube Lives. So I basically on our YouTube account, I do a YouTube Live, and I embed it and I turn it on and I switch to that camera, and it works. Now, you usually do have to like once you plug the camera in for this camera, I have to reset it or it doesn't see the camera. So the computer's got to start from scratch with it plugged in. But you know, keep it simple. That's all you got to do. Like people get way too complicated. I mean, you can make it better if you want it. I mean, I'm sure you can get a real fancy camera to put at the end of that USB, but it works for
So
us.
basically you just
So
have to go in to your live video and tell it which camera to
yeah,
use.
when you start up the Hangout, you just switch it from your FaceTime or your camera in your computer to the actual webcam. So
All
pretty simple.
right. Dan says Flip Lifestyle is a blank white screen. Yes, it
Yes, it
is.
is. Yes, we have discussed. Hey, he goes, have we discussed that already? Yeah,
Yeah,
we were.
sorry about
Here's what was
that.
supposed to happen. Last night at 10 o'clock, they were going to start the site migration, and we were going to put on a coming soon thing that said, "Hey, we'll be back tomorrow," or whatever. It's supposed to last like 2 hours.
And assuming that things worked according to plan, it was supposed to be
Right.
up and running this morning.
Exactly, but everything broke. So you know what's amazing though? This is we're getting all kinds of life lessons in here today. We have made sales today, which is hysterical to me. That people have actually joined the membership today because
How?
I know exactly right. Like here's why: because we use lead pages and click funnels for our sales pages. So even if our site goes down, our sales pages are up. And why do we pay for click funnels and lead pages? Because what if one of them went down at the same time? At least the other one would be up. And we our Infusionsoft runs our automated emails. So that's why you invest in tools that do these things for you, and you don't just do it all from your Gmail and your website. Because days like today, when your entire website is a dumpster fire, you can still make money, right? We still made money today. We still got
Uh,
members today with our, and we're doing a member call with our Walmart camera. So come
so
on,
it
guys.
just goes to show you if we can make this work, anyone
Listen, if we
can
can figure it out, anybody
because
can. Okay, so
yikes.
it's all good. You know what I mean? All right, next, moving away from our dumpster fire and all the way into your questions. Here we go.
Yeah, so Kathy, the people who did sign up, they probably got a link to the site you're on now, which is unaffected because
That's
our
right.
membership site is a subdomain, so it's not part of the main site. So,
Yes.
anyway, apologies for that, and hopefully you'll be finished later today. I just heard from her a little while ago, and she thinks she has some of the issues worked out.
This
So,
site is on a completely isolated WordPress install away from everything else we do to protect you guys from ever having downtime. So it's all good.
all
Knock on wood.
right.
Better knock on some wood.
Yeah, don't say that
And
too
that's when Flipped
much.
Lifestyle crashed.
Okay. Harry asks, my niche is elevator maintenance contracts. Each state has a free database of safety testing and addresses of all properties with elevators. Being I have such a cheap and accessible list to my avatar, what changes would you recommend someone make to best market to the avatar? Currently, I get most success from marketing from LinkedIn and Twitter.
I mean, it sounds like you have access to all these people and professional networks. I mean, that's the key is just picking the platform your people use,
And
you
if you
know?
have that kind of a list available, I'm even going to branch out here and suggest a low tech method of even mailing them something
Yeah,
and
that's
like
true.
trying to get them to come to your website. I don't really like adding people's emails to a list. Like, even if you have access to their email, I don't really like to just add them onto my list
Even if
without
it's
their permission.
public, yeah, it's not, you're not going to get a very good open rate on. Some people do that, like with government emails or public emails, like in public directories, but it's not going to be really
It's
good.
not my preference, but I don't see anything wrong with sending them a piece of mail and just trying to get them back to your site, maybe for something free.
And you're also like, if you're having success, this is what some people get really confused with too. If you're having success, if you're having success with one platform, don't listen to anybody else that tells you how great the next platform is. Like, don't get like, don't chase the shiny object. If you've got success on LinkedIn, double down on LinkedIn and try to get more success. This happens all the time. It's like Bitcoin and bots and email marketing's dead and all that. Jocelyn and I still just rely on, some ads and some email marketing, and it works. It drives our business. So don't get distracted by or look for the magic solution. When you find something that works, make it work more, make it work better, and double down on it. When we discovered memberships instead of selling one-off courses, we didn't try to do both. We just said, hey, this is working, let's double down on this and sell more memberships. So same thing with advertising. If you're finding some traction with LinkedIn, go all in on LinkedIn, go all in on Twitter. When I was doing football coaches, that's where I got success, that's where I built my following, was with Twitter. So I just stayed on Twitter. I didn't even barely mess with my Facebook page at all because it didn't matter. It didn't work. So just whatever you're having success with now, do more of that and have more success. Don't try to find something new. Don't try to add another layer. It would be like me and Jocelyn trying to start a TV show or trying to, do something different. No, we record a podcast. It comes out every Tuesday. Yeah, we could probably find some more people if we did, a TV show or a YouTube channel all the time. That was our only content and we switched, but whatever. But our podcast works, so we stay there. And you should do the same thing. Always double down on what's working. Okay. Hey, let me have your cord. I'm about to die.
You're about to die? That sounds like a
I'm
personal
not
problem.
about to die personally, but I am running out of electricity in the computer that's running the entire chat. So
Okay.
we are
Let's
we are a
see.
hot mess today. All right,
Yeah.
we are seriously a hot mess. Our computers are dying. Our website is
If
on
this is your
fire.
first ever
If this is your
member
first
call,
ever member call, welcome to the Flip Your Life community. We're Shane and Jocelyn Sams.
we're not always this much of a disaster.
We're not always this much of a disaster. I promise. So
Okay. Let's see. Come to our live event. I promise it
come to
won't
our
be
live
this much of
event.
a
I
mess.
promise there'll be food and drinks and
Maybe.
maybe tables. We might have chairs. We might have to sit on the floor Indian style, but that could be unique type of
Oh
event too.
goodness.
So we'll put a little more thought into that one than this. Okay. So
All right. So speaking of live events, Rebecca says, I have questions related to a live event. A group in Maryland hired me to come out there and do an event. I'm trying to help them market. They've only sold 10 tickets, mostly from me emailing my list. They need to sell 40 to 50. Tickets are $199 each for a 1 day event. Do you have any suggestions on how to get more people in Baltimore to attend?
so is this? Are you talking about more people engaged with your list, Rebecca, or are you talking about helping them to market the event, or are you supposed to market this event and fill the seats yourself? Like, it depends, like, who's doing the marketing. I would think for an event of that price, it's not necessarily going to be a fly-in event, so maybe showing some ads within like 200 miles of Baltimore, like catch all those people and just focus on the driving distance crowd to try to get more people in, right? You could offer incentives if you really, really, really want people to go into that event period from your list. Like, you could personally offer some incentives, like some bonuses, maybe do some additional webinars, maybe promise, a couple things leading up to the event. Um, Also, depending on when did she say the event was? Did she give the date of the event? Okay. Whenever that event is, like, the problem with live events too, unless you have a really dedicated audience that is ready for something to happen. Like, people were begging for us to do this event in Nashville. That's why it almost sold out in like 2 weeks. So, but even still, that little pocket of tickets that are left, we have no doubt those will sell in the last minute because scarcity is going to drive everything. So you might want to even ramp up your stuff like a month before the event.
I'm wondering if you could even do what we were just talking about a minute ago with that last question. I'm wondering if you could do some type of a physical mailing. I assume that the event is in late March, but just got scheduled a few weeks ago. Okay. I'm wondering if this is for healthcare providers. I'm assuming that it is. I would even try to go out and get some information on doctors' offices, people who are doing the same type of thing that you're targeting, and maybe even send them a physical mailing and
Oh
just say we're
yeah,
going
like
to
a
be in your
business to
area.
business thing to try and get the, yeah, that's probably
Yeah, I
good.
would even try that because you could probably send out like a few hundred of those and probably sell the rest of the tickets.
I'd like to learn more about this too. Like, is the association where you're speaking supposed to sell the tickets, or are you supposed to sell the tickets, or is it like you don't get paid if that many tickets don't sell? So, we need to go deeper into this, but I think there's like localized driving distance ads plus, you know, getting on the same page with like who's supposed to be there and trying to reach out to those people specifically is probably your best bet on doing that. So,
Yeah, and if you're gonna do a mailer, especially to like a small group of people, you might even want to consider you personally handwriting the labels or getting someone else to. I find that I'm more willing to open something that's handwritten than I am for something that's typed.
Dan says Rebecca is helping them market. Goal is to sell. Her goal is to sell out the tickets. So, I would, well, okay. I think that you need to make this more like, imagine it's your live event. Imagine you've got to do it all by yourself. They don't exist. You want to sell all the markets. You want to sell all the tickets, and really, like, probably like really go after your list and try to hit them more than once. Maybe do a webinar. Maybe offer bonuses and do it like you were trying to sell out a room and you were running the whole show. And what would you do then? Well, you would have webinars to tell them about the event. You would have Q and A's. You would have bonuses. You would have, the out of next 10 people that sign up, one person's going to win a free call with me or something like that, and like try to just go over the top with it. and then think about when it is, and about a month out, start working that scarcity. Like, this is happening, you're going to miss out. FOMO basically, and make it the must be at event for that person, and treat it like it's yours. Because if you're trying to help the market and you want to sell the tickets, then do it. So, all right.
Okay, I'm now burning up. The sun came out. So, let's see. All right. Ben had to go, but I told him we would answer and he could watch the replay. He says, should I offer consultation until I get testimonials and some fans, or should I go ahead and build a membership now and go straight to a membership model? I'm shifting my content strategy from blogging to podcasting. I currently have a very small community of followers with few sales. I expect significant growth with the launch of the podcast. I have an introductory offer and a basic autoresponder set up. What to do?
Is that Ben Landers?
Ben Hale.
Ben Hale. Okay. I think you can. I think that this is not an either or question. This is a both question. Like, why can't you do consulting and have your membership? Those are not two different things. They can feed each other. Jocelyn and I, can I tell him about the workshops? Can I tell him about what we're about to do?
Um, sure.
Okay. So we're about to also, we have a lot going on right now. Like, we're about to also start rolling out these things called Weekend Warrior workshops. And what Jocelyn and I are going to do,
TM Jocelyn.
that's trademark. That's all. This is all Jocelyn's plan, by the way. I'm just the messenger. So what these Weekend Warrior workshops are, once a month, Jocelyn and I are going to lead um
Basically a 2-day workshop.
basically a 2-day workshop virtually, where we take people through specific parts of the blueprint. So if you join the community and you're working on your avatar, or Jocelyn and I are literally going to have like a live 3-hour workshop on a Saturday, when
And the
everybody's
goal
home from
is to
work.
get
And
it
the goal is to
done.
get it done. Like, you will not leave that workshop. We're going to do them for like 10 people, and and it's just going to go through that. But our other people on our staff are also going to do these workshops. Like, Kat's going to do workshops, DJ's going to do workshops, and we're going to take different people at different parts of the journey. Like, Jocelyn and I will probably handle things like sales funnels and kind of the more advanced stuff like the autoresponders and things like that. So, and then Kat will probably focus on things like avatar and product and getting up your infrastructure. DJ will help people, set their goals and figure out when they're going to do stuff like that. So basically, there'll probably be one of these like every weekend, but like, we're going to do one every month. So that is going to those people that join that, we will only let Flip Your Life members join those workshops. Those aren't going to be like public offerings. So it's the same thing here. Your membership, you can get people into your content. You can communicate with people through your forums and whatever, maybe a Facebook group, whatever you're doing, and that will find you clients to work with one-on-one for a higher price.
But
Okay.
you can also just offer consulting, because this is what we did when we first started out. We were getting our membership up and going, and we would offer one-on-one calls. And we did that for a really long time until we felt like we were established enough in our membership where we didn't really need to do that anymore.
Yeah, and but the thing is, like, Jocelyn and I have had a lot of conversations about this because our business has become very large and very complex all of a sudden. And we have a lot of people working with us now, and like just all kinds of things going on. And if we were just saying the other day, like, man, there's so much to do. I wish we could just focus on one thing at a time. And that sounds great and that is important. And in the moment, you can do that, but you're always juggling when you're building a business. I mean, it's just, you can't not do it. So these are things that happen in parallel. You're going to have to dribble both basketballs. That's just the way it is. But have them both. Have your membership, build it. Maybe take one day a week to do that, one day a week to work with one on one clients, one day to work with your members, one day to work with one on one clients. Then take Friday to count your
And
money
then
and all
once
that
your
stuff.
membership starts growing, if you do not want to offer the consultations anymore, you don't have to. Some people still like to do those types of things, so there's nothing wrong with running them alongside each other if that's what you want to do. Kathy says, were the one-on-one calls part of the membership, or were they at additional
They were
cost?
at an additional
Yeah,
cost.
they were at an additional
It
cost.
was like 250 for 30 minutes or something like
Well,
that.
we started out doing, I think it was like $99 for 45 minutes. But then as we started to become
It
more in
raised
demand,
fast.
we were
Yeah.
able to raise the price.
Yeah.
So she says she's mapping out a membership, and I think that that's totally feasible to do. We ended up, when we had stopped doing one-on-one calls, we were at 199 for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So that was like $400 an hour basically. And once we hit that, we just said, okay. But then once we figured out, yeah, but we can serve more people and we can make more money with our membership. That's when we had to focus on creating content and getting that set up and just totally went all in on that. But that was a few months. I mean, it took a while to do that. It wasn't like we just turned it off, you know?
No, it was definitely like a phase out
And we
type
had
thing.
3 beta groups of the Flip Your Life community with about 60 people. We had, like, those original 60 people, and we talked to every single one of those people. Like, when they took our course and, they left comments on our, stuff, and we answered every question, and we got on one-on-one calls with a lot of those people, and, and we really put a lot of time into that, so you've gotta do that to build your foundation, basically, so
Okay. And then I was also going to say, like with these weekend workshops, so once we start that, we will be charging extra for those too because we are spending one-on-one time with people again. So when we do that, we have to make it worthwhile for us, especially if we're going to use our time on the weekend to do it because it's time that we're taking away from other things that we're doing. But we feel like it's important for people in our membership. We keep hearing over and over that people want to have more access to us, and this is the best way for us to do that.
yeah, like we can't meet one on one with everybody, but we can meet 10 on one to get people who are standing on the edge of the diving board to jump, right? Maybe you're standing on the edge of the avatar diving board and you're trying to figure out and you need help refining that because you're too broad and not getting traction. Well, you come to the avatar workshop. Maybe your sales funnel is not converting. So we literally come in and we all go through the process of what it should look like and we fix it right there on the air and bam, we're done. And then Sunday, your sales funnel starts working, maybe it's another part of the blueprint. It just depends. We're gonna like talk to you guys and ask what you want to help us figure out exactly what workshop we have a good idea what the workshops we need to offer are, like maybe the top 3, but they'll be from time to time we'll throw a survey out there and if 10 people sign up for it, you know we'll vote for it with dollars. That's the way it'll do it. So these workshops are going to be really neat, but but the whole point of this discussion is we are going to be doing things in parallel. We are planning a live event. We are running the community. We are running our team. We are starting weekend warrior workshops.
We are trying to get our website up
We're
and
trying to
running.
get our website to actually work. You know what I mean? Like all these things you have to do at the same time. You have to juggle all the balls in the air. So um, don't feel like it's either or. It's usually never an either or. It's a both. And now let's figure out how to plan out logistically how to do both. Okay.
All right,
And it's not
Dan.
easy. Don't think it's going to be easy. There's no such thing. I'm beginning to think that anyone who looks like they have it all together doesn't, because you just got to keep
We pretty much know
you
that's
just got
true.
to keep everything moving forward. You just got to keep it going.
All right, Dan has an avatar question. He says, with our new travel site, I'm having trouble determining if I should target people who want help planning longer vacations, 3 to 4 weeks or longer, or focusing on people helping people plan a dream vacation regardless of length. The content for my website would be similar, just presented differently. Why would you need to differentiate between that? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think you're niching down too far, but well, so let me. All right, here's some background for everybody listening. And Dan's family is going on a month long vacation, but it's like, I mean, you guys are legit like renting a house and moving there, right? And you're going to document this process, talk about how you figured out how to do it. I think that is different than a dream vacation, because a dream vacation may be 5 days in Orlando to go to every Disney theme park. You know what I'm saying? That's totally different than we are literally moving to a place for 6 weeks, or we are literally going to stay here for 8 weeks. And I think that that is in and of itself a niche. I think that that is a dream that some people do have. Jocelyn and I have actually considered taking our family. We've talked about 2 things in the last like month: either going to Mexico for like 2 straight months or like a month, or renting a giant like rock star RV and driving for 60 days around the country. So I don't know if either one of those things will happen, but those are like huge planning life events. And like, I would guess that's hard to find information on. I'm sure that's out there because there's always information, but that's different than our dream vacation just to go see, the pyramids of Giza or something. So I think they could be
I
two
think
different
that they're I
avatars.
think they're kind of similar enough though that you could really write about both and draw in people from both of those crowds.
Well, you could catch people that are searching for dream vacation, but they don't even know what it is yet, and you define it for them. Like, wouldn't it be awesome to rent a house in Hawaii for a month? But how could you ever afford that? Well, it's not as expensive as you think. Let me show you how. Our family did it, and yours can too. Like you do kind of have to. gather. You want people who are searching for travel, not just I want to live somewhere for a month. So you're right. You're probably gonna. I think you're gonna have to like write content and see who shows up. You
Yeah,
know.
I would write both types of content, kind of separate them out by category and see which ones are getting the most traction. And that's probably the one that I would lean toward more heavily.
Yeah, because you're gonna get in a very dangerous place in content creation here, where you're guessing what people want to read. You know. I think that you should probably document. Don't create content off of keywords and stuff. You just need to be documenting everything that happens between now and y'all's trip to where you're going, because that's going to help you figure out who shows up. Shoot, you may be able to just build a whole business on people who want to do what you guys are doing in Hawaii. You know, like maybe there's 100,000 people out there that want to take a month long vacation in Hawaii. Well, if you've got 100,000 people wanting to do that every year, you'll need about 500 of them to give you some money, and you're going to make plenty of money. So that would probably be the best. This is like those people on International House Hunters. All right, so Jocelyn and I watch International House Hunters on HGTV all the time. It's our favorite show because we're totally moving to Costa Rica as soon as our kids go to college. I'm just saying, we'll see you down there. But we were watching these people the other day, and this guy and his wife moved to Ecuador or somewhere, and they lived on the beach, and they lived there for like a month, and they figured out that other people wanted to move to Ecuador, so they started a realty company, and now they just help people move to Ecuador. Their entire business is built on that. This is kind of the same thing. It's like, I'm going on a vacation for a month to the big island of Hawaii or whatever. Like, here's how you can do it too. And you just give them the blueprint on how they can figure it out so they don't have to, waste money. So I think you're thinking like you have to be too broad. I don't know. You're just gonna have to start documenting and see what happens.
Okay. Veronica says, howdy, all. I like that. Howdy.
Howdy.
Last
Howdy.
week, I started doing webinars for a yearly test prep course. I upped the price this year to $187. It was $157 last year, and I haven't had the same results yet. Do you think at this price point I need something extra in my copy? If so, what might that be?
You might just want to like unpack everything a little bit and offer more bonuses. Or do you think that price point maybe she should go even this is something that's not intuitive. You might want to go to a higher price point, because 157 and 187 is random. Don't you think? It's kind of random,
Yeah, and I
like
don't know that it's like I don't know. It's kind of a odd price, I guess. So
maybe 299 or something
yeah,
like
and
that,
I just
like
wonder if maybe you need to, really make sure that you're hitting all of the benefits of what you're selling. Maybe maybe at that first price, people were able to see how how it was worth it, and maybe at this price, they're kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like put a link to the sales page. Let me look at it and I'll follow back. If you can put a link in the chat, I'll click on it and check it out real quick, and then we'll come back to this and talk about it a little bit to see like what the sales page actually looks like. Because I would love to see like what it actually says you're selling for 187 before we can actually say like you should do this or you should do that. I'm guessing that you're probably talking a lot about benefits and features, and you're talking about the external problem of I want to help you test prep, instead of, hey, are you frustrated because your kid doesn't know what to do on the test and they're going to end up homeless and living with you until they're 30? Because that's a real problem. We need to solve that problem. We need to get rid of that fear. There's probably something deeper issue here you're probably going to have to attack to be able to charge more. So, and I think you need to raise it higher to see if it's more valuable. All right, so let's go to another question, and if she posts that, I'll come back to
All
it.
right, we have Mrs. Red, who is up super early to join us today, up at 4 a.m. Thank
In
you for
Australia.
that. She says, here in Australia, my sales have hit an all time low through January and February.
Oh man.
I'm hoping things start to pick up in March because this is painful. All of my customers are in Australia. I'm trying to spread my wings, and I want to know, is this an Aussie thing or does it affect other countries as well?
January historically, and I don't want to speak.
Remember, it's summer in Australia.
Yes, it's summertime there, and it's everybody's out, everybody's doing other things, and in the winter, people just get like depressed, especially like after Christmas and stuff. Like January and February sales usually are a little bit lower. We have experienced growth this year through January and February, but it's only because we've been making so many investments and we've really been trying to pour gas on the fire. It's like we were talking about with Jeanette earlier, and was it Kathy that asked that question? In slow months, you have to like triple your effort to break even or do better, you know? And when you know historically, like it's summertime, people are out doing things. It's wintertime, January and February in America, nobody's doing anything. Those are down times, especially after Christmas, because everybody runs up their credit card bills buying Christmas gifts and stuff. So it does take a little while to get stuff going again, or it takes like, 10xing your effort to make more money or to make the same money. And that's just the nature of the beast. So yeah, these are
Yeah,
slow months sometimes.
typically we'll see here in the United States too. So our summer is in like, July, August, June, July, August, beginning of September. A lot of people will have slower sales than to.
June is especially slow for us in almost everything we've ever done because teachers were out of school and they were doing other stuff. So nobody's buying anything in June. And then usually, like people who are working on their business and stuff like that, like summertime is really busy because they're out with their family, they're on vacations. And, there's just months you see in your calendar that dip and you got to double
And
down.
I talk about this all the time. It's like when retailers know that they have historically low sales, they'll do some type of promotion during that time. So maybe that's what you need to do. Think about, okay, what am I seeing? What trends am I seeing? And how can I get my sales to pick up? What types of promotions could I offer? Could I offer a bonus? Could I offer a totally new product at a discounted price? Think about those types of things.
Well, and you can also say like we were studying data last week. Well, it was kind of informal, but we were talking about like what was happening during the week, and like I noticed, man, Fridays in the forums have been really dipped in activity. And it's like the last couple months, Fridays have been really, really dead compared to other days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and like Saturday night and Sunday. Like those are really busy days. Lots of people logging in, lots of people checking on what's happening, lots of people following up with things. And Fridays have not been quite as busy in the forum. So I didn't just think, well, Fridays stink. Everybody's going out and having a good time, and work week's over, and they're forgetting about their online business for a day. Maybe that's true, but maybe it's I can't control that. All we can control is what do we do on Fridays? What could we offer on Fridays that could help our members and get them more engaged in the community on that specific day of the week? So that's how you got to attack the problem is not, oh, it's a slow time, the market's down. It's what can I do to fix that problem? How can I meet my avatar where they are today? If you can figure that out, you can usually increase sales.
And those are the people who are going to win, are people who think, okay, what can I do, instead of, oh, woe is me, my sales are down, better take a
And we're
vacation
not saying you're
because,
doing that. I mean,
yeah.
you're
But
just,
I see a lot of times that people do. And I'm
yeah,
just saying,
we
I
don't want
don't
you to get
want
to that
you
point.
to do that because I think that you can beat this.
And like I always when I was a football coach, one year we had a really bad year in football coaching. Like we were 0 and 10. We got and we weren't just 0 and 10. We were like running clocked, getting beat 60-7 every single week. And like a part of me was always like, I was like people on my staff and everything were like, man, let's just run the ball and get out of here. But I was like relentless. And I was like, no, and like we would get booed sometimes because I would be calling timeout and trying desperately. I was like, if we can just score a field goal and not get beat, by 60-0, I'd rather get beat 60-3. Like, and that was just a relentlessness that we always carried into our business because don't accept it. Don't just accept defeat. Don't, do whatever it takes to get that next dollar, that next point, even if it looks like there's no hope to do anything else, you can always do better. So, just keep fighting, keep scratching and figure and think about what your avatar is doing today. And then how can you meet with them where they are? That's where the money is. Okay.
All right. Bill says, I am beginning to build a veterans and military transitioning to civilian resource site.
Awesome.
I just signed up a few weeks ago and I'm literally just starting. I have support coming from 3 branches of service and I'm still working on securing the remaining 2. Just this year alone, there will be about 200,000 members returning to civilian. What would you recommend for the best way to get beta testers?
I would reach out to people that you actually know, especially because you have military experience, and like see if you can connect with people like in a one-on-one way and maybe in a group setting like 5-on-1, but reach out through your personal network and try to find people you actually know who are coming back. Like that would be one of the best ways to do that. Maybe even volunteer in a resource center. We have another member too who does something similar to this. His name's Jeff Slaughter. So I think that's what Jeff was. Jeff the one with the military website. He helps people. He helps veterans get jobs or something like. It's Jeff. Let me make sure I got that name right. but we can put that in there. So maybe connect with him, get some ideas, and brainstorm some things out. But try to connect with people you know in real life. The first person we ever helped start an online business or start making products and make money online was somebody we went to church with, and that was a person in our real life. And we helped one person, and that led to helping 20 people, and that led to helping 60 people, and that led to helping hundreds of people to thousands of people. So usually your best candidates for anything like that when you're really trying to get it off the ground is to find someone in real life. Now, you can connect with them though online. It doesn't have to be let's go to the coffee shop and brainstorm. I actually really think you should use online tools to help that person to get used to helping people online. So you could meet with them on Skype. You could go ahead and start a forum and talk to them there. Maybe start a Facebook group. Start a Facebook group called Helping Veterans Transition Back into Normal Life or whatever. Start a Facebook group, see if people come in and talk to them there, and use online tools to connect with these real people. And that'll help you kind of develop your online strategy of how you manage your communications. So, hey, listen, the key is find somebody, find one person, start a Facebook group, start talking about it, just start posting articles on your Facebook newsfeed about, transitioning back into the real world from the battlefield, and that'll help you get started and find those first people. Okay.
All right. Next question is from Oleg. He says, let's see. This is a question from Tim Whiteman, who could not listen live. Would it be a good idea to switch to ClickFunnels $97 monthly fee for their tools, even if you are not making a profit yet, as a better way to capture more website visitors and to email list subscribers versus basically capture alternative forms to be able to sell a membership product later? Like, what is the place for it in different stages of business? I think he's asking, when should I invest in tools to help me capture leads?
You should make the best tools you can afford, and nobody should worry about ROI on their tools in the first year of their business. And that's, some people don't like to hear that, but I'm telling you right now, like, who cares if you go, let's say you get ClickFunnels and you buy the $300 a month version. Okay, so you're not making any money now, but for you can build your pages, you can start collecting emails, it handles your emails for it. It's an all-in-one service like Active Campaign. Let's say you spend 300 bucks and you don't make any money. Let's say you spend 300 more bucks, you're 600 in the hole. That's how people look at it. But what they're not thinking about is that they're working toward a tipping point to where they make all this money. Like when Jocelyn and I were first starting out, we went and bought lead pages. We bought the full version of Aweber, and Jocelyn would scrub all of our emails every week to try to get below the
Because
Aweber thing from raising the price on us. And
because
like,
every so many members they would raise the price, or every so many email subscribers.
oh, you
And
were
so I wanted
obsessed
to
with that.
make sure that they were all active. If people were bouncing or if they weren't opening, like, I would delete
Like
them off.
Jocelyn was like combing it like one email at a time to get people off to keep us from going to the next tier, because we were losing money. We were spending money. We weren't doing anything. And yeah, we were thousands we spent a couple $1,000 before we made anything. But let me tell you something. It wouldn't have mattered if we had spent $20,000 that first year, because when it hit, we made $36,000 in a month. And then we made, $100,000 in a month.
So
And
what
like,
we are not saying is
yeah,
go buy
don't
all the
waste
things.
money and don't buy all the things, but get the tools you need to build in capacity, to build the things you want, so that when you start making money, and you have to have that mentality. Like, that's not false hope. That's not you should do this. That's, if you're not in this and you're not looking in the mirror every day and going, I will make money online, I will make enough to quit my job, and I will make enough to change my family tree. If you're not doing that, then you need to get fired up, because that's the mentality you've got to
And
have to
don't
win.
say to yourself, I'm throwing this
I'm
money
throwing
down the
this money
drain.
away. I hope this works, or anything like that. Like, go into it
No,
and get
go
what you
and
need.
get people's emails. Like, get people to start subscribing so that you can then get sales. Like, look at it that way.
And like, we didn't look at like how many sales we were making. Like, we said, hey, Aweber, I think we got up to the point where it was like $100 a month. So you know what? Our cable was $107 a month. We canceled cable, and we used that money for Aweber, is what we did for the first year or two of our business. I remember when we bought hosting, right? Like, we were like, oh man, do we want the baby chicken egg plan on Hatchimal, or what was that? Was it HostGator or Hatchling, or I don't remember. It was like
I
an
can't
egg. It
remember.
was something about an egg, and we were like, do we want the hatchling or do we want the dragon? You know what I mean? I kind of want the dragon, but we couldn't afford the dragon. And so what we did was, I actually had this book that was autographed by my favorite author, and it was one of my most prized possessions. This dude was dead. Like, you couldn't go wait in line again and get another autograph from him. Like, I had a picture with me with the book open, standing by this guy, and like, it was really special to me. But I was like, man, that book is going for on eBay right now for almost exactly what the plan I
So it's
really want
collecting
is.
dust on my shelf, or I
Or I
could
changed
use
my
it
future.
to buy
It's
hosting.
so I sold that on eBay, and that's how we paid for our hosting. Like, so many people want to say, well, if I make money, I'll start an online business if I'm guaranteed to make money next month. But you're not. But if you spend $10,000 over the next 2 years, and then all of a sudden you start making $10,000 a month, you're going to be really, really glad that you invested that money into yourself and your business and into these tools, and you did it right.
But
So
there's no magic tool, there's no magic formula. Ultimately, it's up to you. If you buy the tool and you don't do anything, then no, the tool's not going to do anything for you. It's just like if you have a toolbox in your garage and you have all the wood, you have all the supplies, you have all the tools, but if you don't do anything, that birdhouse is not going to build itself. Okay.
just in case you're into birdhouse building, you know what I mean? But it's true. It's like not going to happen. So like,
So, ultimately it's up to you, but you can't expect the birdhouse to show up without buying the proper tools and the proper supplies, you know? So it's the same way, like, how do we get into birdhouses? I don't know. Um,
we're building lives in birdhouses here at the Flip Lifestyle community.
but I'm gonna put this out there too. We were talking about the live event earlier, and some of you guys have kind of jumped into the call a little bit later, I know. But there are some of you who are not yet coming to the live event. Look around your house. Maybe that treadmill that's been sitting in your
Yeah,
room that
no
you have
doubt.
been using as a laundry hamper.
Sell it. Like,
Get rid of
oh
it.
man, do
Like,
whatever it takes. Gosh, like
make some sacrifices. Figure out some things that you can get rid of that are probably just taking up space in your house. I mean, I could probably look around this room and find 5 things I could sell right now.
she looked at me when she said that. She was like, I look around this room. I'm looking for something that takes up space. And she looked right at me. She just stared me down like I'm just taking up space over here.
Huh,
So anyway, back to the
I
question.
got nothing.
Like, you don't have to use ClickFunnels. You don't have to buy the most expensive plan. But if you really think, man, that thing does A, B, and C, and I really need to do A, B, and C right now, goodbye 10-speed bike. Goodbye Xbox. Goodbye cable TV. Goodbye whatever, because make it happen. And yeah, when you make the money, you'll never look back and regret it. I promise you. Like, I don't regret we went 2 years with no television. I don't
I
regret
missed
it.
the Winter Olympics last
Jocelyn
time.
missed the
And people,
Olympics.
I love the Olympics.
Yeah,
I watched every event.
like I don't ever regret. I don't regret. We canceled like everything. We didn't have Netflix or anything. We went to the library and checked out DVDs so our kids could
We
watch
canceled
Sesame
our
Street.
gym membership.
We
How
canceled
many
our
of you
gym
have a gym
membership.
membership that
Like,
you're not using?
yeah, like we canceled everything, guys, and like we didn't make money for months and months and months and months. But now it's like, what if we had never done that? So, don't free tools are terrible. I'll just tell you right now, they're free for a reason. So invest in what you think you need to invest in. Find it, shift things around in your budget, sell stuff. If it ain't nailed down, and really ask yourself, is this thing or is this monthly payment more important than my future and my children's future? Because if it is, keep it by all means. If it's not, then go get the tool you need so you can succeed faster. So, all right, off the soapbox. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
We
that's like a
we've
really,
had some long answers there. We're gonna have to go a few more minutes because
I don't know, that's
extra.
like
Yeah.
a sore subject for us. We don't like it when people say they don't want to invest
I
in
am
stuff.
I was a history teacher, and I my favorite thing that I taught about was Hernando Cortez burning the boats and saying we're gonna go fight the Mayans or whatever, the Aztecs, But I haven't taught history in like 5 years, so I don't remember what happened exactly. And I don't even know if it's true. It's most likely a legend, but it was always a story we like to tell. Is Cortez was standing there and there was 3 ships. If that was their way out, they didn't have to go fight, so they burned the boats and sank them so they could go forward. Like, you cannot win and do this if you don't burn the boats. You got to be all in. And if you're all in, you'll win. And if you're not, you won't. So, okay. Motivational speech over. All right, let's go. Next
Okay.
question.
This is not so much a question as a comment that I wanted to speak to. Beth says, I've not been making much progress on my online business, but you guys have helped me a lot with my brick and mortar business, a cashmere goat farm in Tazewell, Tennessee.
Oh, you are one of my favorite people, like in the community. Like, that's
No,
amazing.
when you joined, we were like, what is a cashmere
We're like,
goat? I don't know.
what is a cashmere goat? And we were like you're like when we always people always ask us, like, is there a way to, like, can I start my business with my idea? And we're like, look, we know this dude who, like, was like the bonsai trees for Venus flytraps, and this person that like makes sweaters out of goats. So yeah, you can do whatever you want. So
So
I
we
love your
we
business.
we're obsessed with the cashmere goat. Okay, it says I'm doing better on email and social media marketing, hosting more on-farm events, which will help launch my online business, Farm Dream, which is going to encourage and empower people to realize their farm dream.
Yep.
And charging for events that we used to do for free because I finally realized that these events are valuable to the attendees. We will make an additional $2,000 next month as a result of these changes,
That is
all from listening to your
epic.
podcast and working through your online course.
Dude, what do
Thank
it,
you.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, that's like crazy. Like, listen, like $2,000 a month ain't no joke, people. I mean, that is awesome. Awesome. See, we just need to go into helping people with their goat farmers, goat
I mean
farms.
that's a niche right
That's a
there.
niche
I'm
right
just
there in and
saying.
of itself. But like, and I also love your online business idea too, because there's a lot of people out there like into that. Like Farm Dream that's an awesome domain name and like an awesome idea because some people want to sell. I know this guy in town that he sells eggs. He raises chickens and he just sells like tons of eggs. And like that's his farm dream, like you're doing the goat stuff. Like people do soaps and like all kinds of stuff. So that's a great idea. And it just goes to show you that hustling and taking ideas you hear and putting them into action make you more money. That's what you got to do. So
Yeah, and I would maybe we could try to connect because Tazewell is actually not very far from here.
yeah, y'all need to come up to
So
the Sam's farm.
yeah,
We ain't got no
maybe
goats, but we got hay.
no, we don't have any
We don't have
goats.
any goats.
And
I got
what
fish.
here's something that I
You
want to
know,
know about cashmere goats because I want to know, do they have like shows for cashmere goats? Because last year we were at a
dance
competition
competition.
for our daughter, and there was an alpaca convention next door.
It was awesome.
And
It
like
really was awesome.
I never knew that there were like alpaca shows, like dog shows. Like they go out in this ring and they walk them around, and I was like, who
I
knew?
was like, Jocelyn, there's like llamas or something down here. And she goes, what? I go, yeah. Like we had like 5,000 little dance team cheerleading girls on one side of the convention and like 400 alpacas on the other, like walking around and stuff. And
It was like the most amazing thing I've
it
ever
was
seen.
incredible. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a
She
niche for
says
everybody.
they do have shows.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome.
So that's very fascinating. And yeah, we need to maybe try to get together at some point.
I used to go to Tazewell all the time when I was a kid to play cards with some friends of mine over there. So
Yeah,
I know the area.
we would love to maybe get together sometime. All right. Oleg says, I've been advised to move my website from the Ning platform to WordPress. What membership plugin to choose in advance so I don't overload myself technically? From
Yeah.
what I read, WordPress was known for challenges on technical implementation of the membership solution. I think you will agree it's better to focus your energy on great content and great community rather than on technical tasks.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid tech stuff though, and every platform has its challenges. I'll tell you, go back to your other question. If you're going to use only content or a different platform than forums for your community, ClickFunnels does a really good job with just content-based memberships, where you log in and get access to courses. Okay, and you could use like Facebook or something if you wanted to for your community or not. You could do exactly what we have here, but I would recommend we use a theme called Buddy Boss, which uses Buddy Press and BB Press to create this like social networking look. That's what we use, and you can use almost any plugin to protect it. You can use like Wishlist or uh, Paid Membership Pro. We use Infusionsoft, so we have iMember 360. But once you get into memberships, there is some complexity, and it does take a little bit of a learning curve. And but all you really got to do is put a gate in front of the door, and once people can get in, they're fine. So, we use Buddy Boss. It's a theme. We host it on its own domain name. Why? Because our website is crashed right now, and you guys can still come in here and do a member call. You know what I mean? So we have redundancy there, but that's what we do. And if you're wanting to do a community like this, that's our best recommendation is Buddy Boss, Buddy Press, BB Press, and then either Wishlist or probably Paid Member Pro to protect it. So I think it's Paid
All right.
Membership Pro, not Paid Member Pro.
Yeah, I think it is.
PMP. Just search for that and
A
you'll
lot of
find it.
people in our community use that and like it a lot. All right,
Everything has its
Karen.
quirks, by the way. So don't think you're getting off scot free easy button. It's not
But
going to
there are
happen.
a lot of training people talking about paid memberships pro and some trainings in our community. All right, Karen says, I've been working hard to help someone who lands on my website understand how I can help them, and I think that is clear now. What's not clear to me is what should my site encourage them to do first thing when they land there? Should they subscribe to the podcast? Should they get on my mailing list? Should they sign up for a free guide or class or something else?
All right. So you are going to see our philosophy on this very soon when the website actually works again, hopefully by tomorrow. Okay. So, our philosophy now is to make sure that people immediately know what we do and that we have something for sale. There is literally going to be above the fold on every single page a join now button for the Flip Your Life community because we don't really have to get their email because we are tracking them with Facebook pixels and Google pixels and all this stuff. So the opt in is a critical part of our strategy, but it's more based on the content. Okay. We want when people go to fliplifestyle.com and they just say, well, I'm going to see what Shane and Jocelyn are about. I've heard their podcast. I'm going to fliplifestyle.com. The very first thing we want them to see, and let me pull this up and I can actually tell you what it says because I wrote it down. So basically, we've got a thing that now that says start your online business so your family can find freedom. Okay. And then it says, we're a real family who figured out how to make our entire living online. We can help your family do it too. Join our community, like straight up. And then it's got a picture of us with like all the people in our community. Okay. That's the gist of what our new website is basically going to look like. And the reason is people are not coming to your website for you. They're not coming. People don't really come for us. They come because they like us, but they're really coming for themselves. And you want them to know, I have this answer to this problem, and you can buy it right here. This is what you need. This is the resolution to your problem. This is the end of your frustration. You're home. Click here. Now, the strategy of each piece of content is different because people usually find your content because of a Google search or something. So, like, we just released a podcast called, what was that podcast we released? 7 Time Management Tips or something like
I don't know.
the one
It
that
was
came
more
out
than
this,
5 minutes ago that we recorded it.
yeah,
So
right, exactly. So it's like time management. If someone found that thing, then we want an opt-in on that page that says get our time management course for free. So there's a different strategy within pieces of content categorically than there is what's the first thing your website should do. And actually, when I'm redesigning our sidebar right now, once it's live, I'm going to go in and edit it. Instead of our sidebar being navigation, I'm turning our sidebar into a sales page. Like it's going to be its own sales page because it's the only thing that's on every single page of your website. So I want people to clearly understand what we're selling there first because that's the goal is to make money.
and
So
I would recommend just offering as many paths as possible. I mean, you don't want 4 buttons above the fold that say, subscribe to my podcast, get something
right.
free. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you want people to have a lot of different opportunities. Some people who come to your website, they might be like, hey, these people are cool. I'm going to buy something right now and buy it. But then there might be other people that are like, oh, I kind of like this person, but I would like to get to know them a little bit better before I decide if I want to listen to their podcast, before I decide if I want to join their email list, before I want to become a member, or whatever it is. So give people the opportunity to buy right away, but then also give them the opportunity to get to know you better.
Yeah, I'm reading a book right now called Story Brand, and he has a cool way to say this. Like, it says in his book, he says, the first thing you should ask someone is, "Will you marry me?" And then, like, when they're like, "No," we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, do you want to go on a date?" "Oh, sure." And then you say, "Do you want to marry me?" And they're like, "No." "Oh, okay. You want to go on a second date?" "Yeah." And that's kind of like what you're doing. Like, the very front of the page is like, "Hey, if you're ready to buy, go ahead and buy it. If not, keep scrolling." Then they scroll down, and maybe there's 3 options: subscribe to my podcast, read my blog, go down
And
this
you
path,
will
or
see
whatever.
this on our page if it ever loads. Right now, it's
Yeah.
still having some
And like this week's going
difficulties.
to be some tweaking because we're going to have to go in and change a couple things that we decided to do originally. So like when you scroll down in ours, there's going to be sales funnels. Like, do you need to come up with a business idea? Click here. Are you ready? Do you have a great business idea and you need help building your website? Click here. Or do you need help? Do you already have a website and you're making money online? Let us help you with your sales funnel or whatever. And that's going to take them down different paths. But initially, it's like, do you want to join our community? We have a community of, entrepreneurs from all over the world that are family focused and love you and would take care of you and help you. So join here.
And I would encourage you to look at each of your posts at some point. Like go into Google Analytics, find like your top 10 posts and start with those, like the ones that get the most traffic. So on each podcast, like if somebody lands there by a Google search, say on the podcast, "Do you like this podcast? Subscribe now on iTunes," and give a link. So just try to think of the way that the person who's coming to your site, what would they be thinking if they landed on that piece of content?
Good
Like,
point.
what would they want to do next? Try and think through that on every single post. Now, again, if you have 2 or 300 posts like we do, I mean, we have hundreds probably. We're not going to be able to do that tomorrow. So
No.
start with your top pieces of content and then work your way through.
That's what we did. We looked at our top 3 or 4 pages, and we basically figured out that most people do come through our homepage. People come to fliplifestyle.com a lot. So when they come there, they're gonna know it's time to buy something. And yet that story brand with Donna Miller, that's the book, Karen. It's a great book. That's a really good read. It's good. It's a good calmer version of like Russell Brunson copywriting, basically. So yeah, copywriting is really important, but make sure people know you have something for sale. That's what you're here for, is to sell stuff. And the more overt you can be about it, the easier it's going to be to sell stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and get these two other live questions. The people who ask questions down below, we're probably not going to have time to get to. So if you guys are listening to the replay, I will type a message in here too, but just post those into the community and someone will be happy to help you. Veronica says, I'm selling this course to teachers and districts. I went with the $157 price after breaking down the various components in the course. And I looked at the competition, which is really books a teacher can buy in stores or on Teachers Pay Teachers. From the webinar, people go to an order form, not a sales page, because I cover everything during the webinar.
Mm,
This session is 1 hour, 30 minutes, and people are engaged. I cover benefits and features. The conversion is 40%, but prior years have been 60 plus percent. I was thinking I need something else in the copy. Should I try to send people to a sales page?
yes. You should don't assume that your people are paying attention into your webinar, even if they're engaged, because the 20% that are engaged can fool you into thinking the other 80% are too, you know? So like yes, when you land on that page, like that's why I'm a big believer in sales page, options page with a testimonial to remind them how awesome it is. Then you go to an order form, right? And we've even been really successful lately. We have a trial order form that is on the same page as the sales copy. And like so they're filling out the thing and they don't get to leave and there's two smiling testimonials looking at them.
But then the good
So
thing about that is you can also track the people who land on those pages and then retarget them with some advertising. But here's the thing, if you're getting a 40% conversion off that, that's pretty good.
that is pretty good.
Like, I wouldn't complain about that. You
Yeah.
just need more people to come to the webinar.
That's probably where you're gonna get like a lot more bang for your buck, is just focusing on advertising to get more people there. If you're getting 40%, then you just got to go find 1,000 people, and that's 400 people. So, how
Exactly.
do you get 1,000 people at the webinar? Is your real
I would love
question.
to have 40%
Oh my
conversion.
gosh! If
So,
we had 40%,
yes, please.
I'd buy Costa Rica, not just move there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean that'd be ridiculous. So, it's
All
awesome.
right. Our next question, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry. From Sippy, and
It's Sippy.
she's
I think it's Sippy. Yeah.
okay.
TSIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sippy.
And she says, I launched my website selling modest apparel for moms in January. I bombarded my tiny list and it really worked. We had 100 sales the first 2 months, and people are grabbing 2 or 3 in their orders.
Awesome.
We advertised in many religious publications, but we need to sell 200 to break even. How can we scale this? We don't have a good Facebook video for the top of funnel ads.
I think. Hold on a second. I just choked to death. Like I told you, everything's falling apart today, including my breathing. I wonder if you could go back to those people who've already bought and resell. That's usually where a lot more sales hide. Even if they ordered a couple, when they like take, let's say 30% of your people, right? How many did she say she sold? How many did she say she had already sold? 100 and something. Okay, so let's say you've sold 100, and let's say you have 30 people that bought two, right? They went ahead and bought two or more. Okay, my guess is those people would probably buy more, right? So focus right now on just asking those people to, maybe you can have a sale or do something to differentiate it. Maybe do a 2 for 1. Buy two, get 20% off right now. Go back to the people who already bought multiples and try to go ahead and sell them some more. They'll probably buy them again, right? Then remarket to the other people who didn't buy more and give them a really good incentive to buy an extra one. Like, hey, did you love that shirt? We're having a 10% off sale right now. It might skew your numbers where you end up having to sell 220 instead of, 200. But the people who've already bought are your best chance to get them to spend more money. Like, so probably where I would start. Okay. And then what Jocelyn and I usually do is we take our customer list. So you can take the emails from the people who've already bought, right? Upload that into Facebook, and you can create a custom audience based on those people. So it'll take those emails, it'll look all those people up on Facebook, and then Facebook will start spiraling out to find people with a similar customer profile, and that's who you show your ads to. Okay. Another thing you might want to do is get testimonials. Maybe you can get like 3 people to record a video like, I'm wearing my modest clothes. It makes me feel so comfortable. This is amazing. I love this stuff. You've got to get one. I'm about to order another one, or whatever. You can give them a prompt, and if you could get even 2 or 3 of those people who've bought already to send you that testimonial, bam, there's your advertisement. You target people who are similar to the people who've already bought. You're going to start making more sales. Okay. So low hanging fruit, go back to the people who've already bought, try and get them to buy more. And don't give up. 7 or 8 times, ask them to buy again, that they will eventually. And then get some testimonials, turn that into an ad, do a contest, like give like 5 free shirts away to the first to 5 people who send you the first 5 testimonials, right? With them wearing their shirt in the wild. And then it'll be well worth it in the long run, because you can use that testimonial video forever, you know, to sell your product, and you'll be able to get some more sales that way. So
Carrie, that made me laugh. She says, "Cashmere goat farms and online dating entrepreneurs. Never a dull moment in the FL
never a dull moment in
Q&A."
these miracles. Yeah,
That is true, and you would even have even fewer dull moments if you come to Nashville.
that's right.
So
Imagine
do
how
it.
crazy it's going to be live with all these people in the room, with all these, crazy businesses. The sheer scope of what Jocelyn and I, when we go to these conferences, everybody's a social media manager, or everybody's, I don't know, doing something else, or just, but
Coaching
yeah, well,
or
yeah, it's so
whatever.
basic. But like, our event is going to be legit the most eclectic madness event you've ever seen in your entire
It's gonna be
life.
awesome though.
It's
I
gonna
can't
be it's
wait.
gonna be amazing. So there's gonna be so many businesses in the room.
But
So
don't miss it. We don't want you guys to miss out, and we will sell out. Like we're already really close, so don't miss out. Get there. Find a way to make it work.
all right, so let's get a couple more questions here.
That's it, actually.
Is that it? Well,
There's some down below, but we don't have time to go through them all, and I don't want to answer like one or two and not answer
yeah,
all of
that's
them.
not
So
fair. So anybody who did not get to get their question from the people who left it when you're hearing the replay, please leave it in the forums, because we've actually got a staff meeting and a sales meeting here in a little while with our team. So we have team meetings coming up here in about 12 minutes. So we're gonna jet, but good call, crazy call.
thank you for the great questions.
Yeah, awesome questions
Come to
today.
Nashville, fliplifestyle.com/Nashville.
And we would love to see you guys there. Have we announced the schedule for the member calls for March yet?
I have just put them in the calendar, but I don't like to announce it too early in case we have to change them.
Yeah, okay.
So
So we're gonna have we'll get our 2 member calls scheduled for next month. Kat will be doing office hours as
it's
well.
usually around the 15th and the 30th for us.
We are also going to add something too. We're actually DJ, who is another person on our staff. He's going to start doing a new member orientation class, and that will probably
It'll be
happen.
free.
It's going to be totally free, and he's going to be doing that like every other week or something like that. Every 2 weeks, I think, is what he's going to do. And so that'll be good, I think, even for other people in the community. Like, he's going to basically go through a script and talk about what all is available in the community, show you everybody how to use everything. He's going to take feedback and answer questions about the community and like the courses and all of that stuff. And that should be starting here pretty soon. Okay.
So we will send out emails to the entire membership at first, and then later on it will go just to new members.
Exactly.
But we will send out to everyone just so in case you guys want to take advantage of that, you will have the opportunity.
And those will be open for everybody too. They'll probably be broadcast publicly, but only members can ask questions, new members. So everybody will be able to get involved with that. We are bringing the book club back this month.
Woohoo!
DJ is going to be taking everybody through an awesome book on sales copy by Dan Kennedy. And I think I'm actually going to do another thread about Story Brand, because I'm going to keep reading this book right now, because it's really made a big difference in our thought processes lately. So we're going to do 2 books. We're going to try to keep one more basic and one more advanced, like whenever we can. But we're going to try to go through a couple books a month, and it's not going to be like a real in-depth thing. We're just going to start a thread, have some discussion questions, and everybody can just kind of chime in. But we are going to kind of recommend some books and try to get some more discussion going in the book club, because books are a big deal. You need to be reading books. We all do.
We read a lot of books.
We read a lot of books. I cannot wait to get my new bookshelf in my new office and get all my books on the shelf. So a lot going to be rolling out over the next couple months. We've got a lot of balls in the air right now, but we're going to keep on juggling. And our main goal is to help you guys as much as possible. Like, I mean, that is our mission, guys, is to help you guys, have the resources and have the discussions and the support and the accountability you need to make it to the next level. Like Jocelyn said earlier, we're here to show you a path, but you've got to walk it and you've got to do it. But we know that it takes a community and it takes support and it takes accountability to do that. So we're trying to give you guys as much support as we can through, just recommendations and guidance. And, we've been
We're
there.
trying to
So,
provide more leadership for you through us and through our people who work with us.
yeah.
So hopefully that is helping out a lot. And we also want to provide awesome accountability. So look for more opportunities about that. We have lots of ideas coming down the pipeline. We just have to have a little bit of
There
time
is
to
no
work on
better
it.
accountability than signing up for the live event in Nashville. I'm serious because the second you put yourself in that event, right now you're going to say, I have got to work my butt off and get some stuff done so I don't show up at that event with nothing. I'm going to build something between now and then. I'm going to make it
We have a
happen.
lot of people really fired up right now because of the live
And
events.
we've got
So
people from all over. The live event is also too, like, I'd say it's about half the people are about beginner to intermediate, and another half are intermediate to a few six-figure earners. So, there's people from all ends of the spectrum to connect to. So don't feel intimidated. There will be people that show up at the event that just joined and don't even have a website. There will be people who have been in online business for 5 or 6 years and they're ready to take it to the six-figure or seven-figure level. And so don't feel intimidated. There's going to be something for everybody. And this will not be a woo woo fire you up event necessarily. This will not be a we're just going to preach at you on
and
generic
hope
best
you get stuff
practices.
done. No.
No, this is a working event. We are going to be working every hour of every session to meet you right where you are in your business. And we're going to do that. So it's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be
So,
awesome. Don't miss it.
all right, guys, have a
Have
great
a
day.
wonderful day, and we'll talk to you guys really soon.